one of the ER package, which stands for Enterprise Resource and Planning, which is a management technique, and it's an integrated software package. So that here we can integrate with different types of modules, like finance with sales and distribution, finance with material management, finance with production planning. Each and everywhere you'll find the integration under these ERP packages. So like this, there are so many types of ERP packages are there in the market. Okay, like these are Oracle, JD Edwards, BAN, PeopleSoft, MFG Pro, Ramco Marshall, and SAP. These are all the ERP packages you'll find in the market, and apart from all this, you'll find SAP also. So here the BAN software has been designed for logistics as well as for NGO based companies. They can use this BAN software. Then PeopleSoft is for logistic companies as well as for HRMS based companies. They can use the PeopleSoft software. Then Oracle is to maintain the financials, or else to maintain different types of databases, and you have different types of modules under this Oracle also. Then JD Edwards and MFG Pro are the softwares which has been designed for manufacturing industries. So that any kind of manufacturing industry, they can directly go with this MFG Pro. Then Ramco Marshall is for production planning, project management, and material management based companies. They can use this Ramco Marshall. But the SAP, which includes all the modules. Okay, because this is not only for finance, not only for logistics, not only for HRMS like this, which includes everything under this SAP. There is a reason this is totally an integrated software package. Even though if you want to compare the packages with SAP, you'll find the most of the integration part under this SAP itself, because you'll find so many modules under this. So much of integration part will be there under the SAP. Okay, is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. Now we'll discuss about SAP here. It stands for Systems, Applications, and Products in a Data Processing, which has been founded in 1972 by 5 IBM employees. Okay, who were working for IBM company earlier. They left the company and they have been established their own company that is called SAP AG. SAP AG is the first developed company in 1972 by these 5 IBM employees. You can also see the name of the employees here. SAP AG is the company name. Okay, it's totally German-based company. Okay, in Waldorf, Germany it has been located. So in 1972, this SAP has been called as SAP R/2. Did you heard about R/2 and R/3? Are you aware of some technical things? Did you heard about R/2 and R/3? Amit or Reshma?
No.
Do you have some technical knowledge like servers, layers, cubes, like that?
Yeah, R3, like it's a 3-tiered architecture.
Yeah, 3-tier and 2-tier. Okay, here R stands for real time and 2 stands for 2-tier architecture. This 2-tier architecture, which includes in the tier 1 you'll find presentation layer, in the tier 2 you'll find application as well as database layer. Okay, so presentation layer is only for GUI. This is nothing but your GUI. You already heard about GUI, right? Graphical user interface.
Yes.
Okay, presentation layer is nothing but your GUI. And application layer is nothing but the user area where the user is working in the front end. And this is back end again, database layer. It is nothing but your RDBMS, Relational Database Management System. There is nothing but your GUI, there is nothing but the user area, and then there is nothing but your RDBMS. That means in 1972, when they are working under the RB2 structure, they are not having their own server. They are totally depends upon IBM mainframe servers. Okay, at the time they are not having their own server because still it is in the developing stage. Okay, because it is a new company. It's a new established company. That is the reason they were not maintaining their own server. They are totally depends upon IBM mainframe servers. So whenever they are going to execute the reports under this RB2 structure in 1972, it was taking so much of time. Why? Because this is not a client server architecture and they were not having their own server here. They are having they are taking access from IBM mainframe servers, then they are able to execute the reports. So that is the reason that it was taking so much of time to execute the reports here. So from 1992 onwards, it has become R by 3. This is nothing but 3-tier architecture. This will be also known as client-server architecture. Okay, so R3 here, which includes tier 1, which includes presentation, tier 2 is nothing but application, tier 3 is nothing but your database. So the database layer has been separated as tier 3 here. Earlier it was there under tier 2 only. So from 1992 onwards, they are not depending upon IBM mainframe servers, but because they are having their own server. That's why it has become a client-server architecture. Now they are able to execute the reports within seconds or within minutes. It was not taking that much of time, whereas it was taking earlier in R2 structure. Is it clear, everyone?
Yeah.
Reshma?
Yep, it is.
Right. So this is the major difference between R by 2 and R by 3 actually. See, as we are working under functional consultants, this is not required to know each and everything like what do you mean server, what do you mean lay, what do you mean cube like this. It's not all required for us. Why? Because we are working as functional consultants. So this R2, R3 presentation, replication database, this will be maintained by your administrator, or else this will be taken care of by your technical consultants. But as you are working as a functional consultant, you must have some knowledge, minimum knowledge on this. What do you mean by RB2 and what do you mean by RB3? There isn't just you learned about this. Some basic idea should be there for each and every person. Okay. Now we'll see some advantages of using SAP software. The main advantages are integration, fast access speed, multilingual, multi-currency, and OSS. It stands for Online Support System. We'll talk about one by one. First, we'll talk about the integration here. Say, for example, you are working as a financial analyst for a particular company. If you want to deal with a customer, if you want to sell some goods to the customer, all the customer information you will get from your sales and distribution consultants. Means from the sales department people you are going to interact. The finance department people will interact with the sales department people. In SAP, the FI consultant will interact with the SD consultant. SD stands for sales and distribution, because all the customer data will get from your SD consultants only. So he will gather some information about the customer. Then he will sell the goods, or else he will receive the payment from the customer. So here you will find the integration between FI with SD. Like that, if it is in case of if your client is maintaining vendors also, then we are going to interact with the manufacturing department people. FI with integration between MM. Okay, like material management. MM stands for material management. If you want to make the payment to the vendor, all the vendor data will get from your material management people only. Manufacturing department people. Like that, as per the client requirement, if you want to know something regarding the products which your client is going to produce it, all the product information will get from your production planning consultants. This production department people will interact with. Like this again, payrolls and time management that will be dealt by your HR consultants. These are all the functional consultants you can see here, and he is nothing but your technical consultant, programmer of your organization, ABAPer. Like not only these modules, you'll find more than 60 functional modules are there in SAP. More than 60. Each and everywhere you'll find the integration. So these many modules, this much of integration you doesn't find under the packages whatever we already seen earlier. Okay. So even you'll find the integration between SD with MM, SD with PP, SD with HR, or MM with HR, MM with PP like this. So everywhere you'll find the integration. And we are also interacting with the technical consultant sometimes as per the client requirement. If your client wants to execute a report according to the spec which has been given by him, okay, according to that particular spec, the consultant, the technical consultant will design the report, okay, he will write the coding for that, then we are able to use that report. So sometimes we are going to interact with the technical consultants also. So like this, we'll find the integration between the modules. Then the fast access speed, anyway it will be there for each and every kind of software. Then multilingual means languages. There are total 41 languages are there in SAP. In 41 languages we can open SAP. It has been designed. Then multi-currencies, there are total 218 currencies are there, 218 currencies. Then online support system. We'll take one scenario on this. Okay. Did you heard about implementation, end-to-end process, or full life cycle implementation? Did you have heard about all this? E2E process?
No.
Just a little bit.
Okay. Right. See here. We'll find three stages here. Three different projects will be the types of projects. One is implementation project. Okay. Second one is supporting project. Supporting project. Third one is maintenance one. Maintenance project. Maybe in the ads, maybe you already seen in the ads, like they will ask you if there is any requirement for SAP or else for any kind of ERP. If they're having some requirement, they will ask you like we required one full lifecycle implementation experience or two full lifecycle implementation experience. Like this they will ask you. Okay, so here E2E, this is nothing but E2E, end-to-end experience. Means from the scratch till from the project preparation phase up to go live. If you are available, then you can gain one full lifecycle implementation experience. See, first we'll talk about this. See, for example, there are two companies are there, IBM and LG. Okay, LG is working on a legacy software, means non-SAP software they are working under. You know some accounting packages, right, already. So, for example, they are working on that particular software. They are using the particular software since from so many years. They've been fed up with that. Then they want to change to SAP. They want to change the software totally. Then if the LG company employees they doesn't know how to implement the project, then the LG company will interact with multiple companies like IBM, Sachem, Wipro, Infosys, TCS, who will be the responsible person, like who are going to implement the project. They are going to deal with them. And they will collect the quotations from each and every company, like how much they are going to charge, how much time it will take and everything. So according to the least quotation, they will give the order. Suppose for example, they got a least quotation from IBM company, the best implementer for example. Okay, then IBM will become the service provider company for SAP software, for implementation of SAP. Okay, means you are working for IBM company, you are not working for LG. Okay, so IBM will become the service provider and LG will become your client. Is it clear up to this?
Yeah.
Now, so here we are working for IBM company. So once the project has been received from the client company, the IBM company will acquire the license from SAP AG company first. they will purchase the license on behalf of LG company. They'll purchase the license. After purchasing the license, they will recruit some consultants according to the client. First, they will recruit the basis consultants, administrators. Basis administrators they will recruit, dealing with the client, servers, users, passwords, LAN connections, software and hardware requirements. They will gather it. Then afterwards, they will recruit the ABAPers, programmers of the organization. Okay. Then afterwards, they will recruit BI consultants or BW consultants. These are the techno-functional consultants. These persons will design the reports. Then afterwards they will recruit the HR consultants. Then afterwards they will recruit the FI and CO consultants. These 5 persons are the most important persons for each and every organization to implement a project. Then later it depends upon the client. If your client is a sales-based sector, then they will recruit SD consultants. If it is a manufacturing industry, then they will recruit MM consultants. If it's a product-based company, then they will recruit PP consultants, production planning consultants. Like this, they will go on recruiting the people like quality management, real estate management, treasury management. Like this, they'll go on recruiting the people. After recruiting the people, the project will start. Okay, so but these 5 persons are the most important persons for each and every organization. So definitely you'll have the requirement on these modules. So your project will start now. Under this project you'll find so many phases again, like project preparation, business blueprint, realization, final preparation, go live and support. If you are available from the beginning of the project, means from the project preparation page up to go live, then you can gain one end-to-end life cycle implementation experience. One implementation experience you can gain it. They will ask you in the interview like how many implementations you have done. If you have done one project, one implementation, 2 projects, 2 implementations, like this. Since from the scratch till the end, if you are available, then you can gain one E2 experience. Is it clear? Lakshmi? Are you there? Lakshmi?
I'm there. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm there. Yep.
Right. So after completion of the, anyway, see, actually we are discussing about the methodology, about the process of the implementation, then what is your role and responsibility, okay, then how many servers they are going to maintain, how about real time, okay, everything. This is about everything we are discussing in your next session.
Okay.
Okay, this is, see, today just we are here about to learn just the orientation on SAP.
Sure.
We are not going in depth.
Sure.
Okay. In your next session, what will be there, like when your project will start, and each and every phase, what is your role and responsibility, how many servers they are going to maintain, how the data will flow from one server to another server. So this whole stuff we are discussing in your next session. Okay. Then afterwards we'll enter into the subject. So if you are there since from the beginning to the ending, then you can gain one E2 experience. Then once the software development has been done, once the implementation process has been completed by IBM consultants, they will submit the software to LG company. Then their routine work will start. Means our designations will be the consultants. Like that, LG company employees will be there, na? Their designations will be like end users. You know already about end users, right?
Yeah.
Finally, who will work on the platform which has been already designed by somebody else. They cannot make any changes for that. They cannot